Come and see the Yorkshire coast's superb seasides and villages. Glorious beaches, rocky coves, towering cliffs, marvellous resorts and tiny fishing ports. Non-stop family fun or wind-swept, wave-swept solitude. That's the choice on the Yorkshire coast. A rugged coastline with a backdrop of the North York Moors National Park is the setting for the Yorkshire coast resorts and fishing villages. This is a coastline of high cliffs and rocky shores, rich in flowers and wildlife. Follow the cliff-top path for over 30 miles along the North Yorkshire Heritage Coast. So picture, if you will, the classic English seaside town. Kiddies building sandcastles on golden beaches, all the fun of the fair on the seashore. Withernsea is a traditional holiday resort in the East Riding of Yorkshire, sporting an attractive promenade and seafront. The famous lighthouse towers above the houses. The pier towers on the promenade are the last surviving part of the once proud 19th century pier. The splendid beach provides plenty of enjoyment for everyone, young and old. The habitual shoppers can benefit from a selection of shops in the recently refurbished Queen Street and around the town. What seaside resort would be complete without the amusement arcades? And Withernsea is certainly no letdown. A good selection is available, ranging from the one-armed bandits to the latest video game technology, and from bowling alleys to children's adventure playgrounds and recreational gardens on the central seafront. Life in Bridlington is centred around the harbour. Pleasure boats steam in and out of the harbour mouth, taking visitors to the splendour of Scarborough Head and its lighthouse in the summer. To the south of the bay, the sandy beaches give way to pebbles and plenty of rock pools, a perfect chance for youngsters to explore the marine life. This is Bridlington, holiday haven for young and old alike. Fun, friendly, and designed especially with families in mind. Find out just why people come back year after year. Maybe it's the fabulous beaches and promenades, or the range of activities on offer that makes Bridlington so magical. If you head away from the beach into the old town, you will find a gem that has remained largely unchanged for centuries, where oldie-worldy pubs and antique shops rub shoulders with art galleries and tea rooms. Why not follow the Old Town Trail?
To be beside the seaside, I do like to be beside the sea. I do like to stroll along the
Scarborough, Britain's first seaside resort, has been welcoming visitors for over 360 years and is still as popular as ever. Often considered the Queen of the Yorkshire coast, Scarborough offers first-class attractions. As a holiday destination, Scarborough really does have it all. Dramatic cliffs and castle headland, award-winning beaches, historic harbour, great family attractions and a booming town centre, and a warm Yorkshire welcome to match. Scarborough has lots of attractions for visitors aside from the beach. Scarborough Castle dominates the coastal skyline. There are lots of options for eating out and traditional seaside entertainments, and a number of festivals in the summer is growing. Round at the North Bay, P-Zone Park Naval Warfare is a unique holiday attraction and could be the longest running show of all time. Also at the North Bay is the North Bay Railway, which opened in 1931. It is still one of the few railways in the country not to be nationalised. Situated in Northstead Manor Gardens, this 20-inch gauge railway is 7/8 of a mile long, with all the features of a full-sized railway, including a tunnel, bridges, signals, stations and gradient boards reduced to scale. Located in the North Bayside, within 3 iconic triangular buildings, the Sea Life Centre Scarborough offers a unique mix of indoor and outdoor exhibits and over 50 displays of marine life, including seals, otters and penguins. Enjoy an hands-on rock pool experience. The remains of the castle dominate the town and well illustrate the great advance in the scale and skill of castle building. Well, on our trip, we stayed at Middlewood Farm Holiday Park. It offers excellent facilities for a camping holiday to Yorkshire and the coast, and is conveniently situated just a 5-minute walk from Robin Hood's Bay Beach. Once known as Baytown, Robin Hood's Town, and Reuben Hooders Bay, whatever it's called, it is still a charming spot, with every twist and turn of a street bringing into view another picture postcard scene. Millions of years ago, the land upon which Robin Hood Bay is situated was once a deep sea. The sea animals of the time, buried in the mud, became fossilized, providing one of the best sources in Britain for the fossil hunter. Some of these fossils can still be seen on display in the museum and can still be picked up on the beach if you look very carefully. Robin Hood's Bay lies in the ancient parish of Bridlington. The first evidence of man in the area was 3,000 years ago, when Bronze Age burial grounds were dug up on the high moorland about a mile or so south of the village. These are known as Robin Hood's Butts. Some 15,000 years later, Roman soldiers had a stone signal tower built at Withernsea. About the 4th century AD, the first regular settlers, however, were probably Saxon peasants, followed by the Norsemen. The main colonists of the coast were Norwegians, who were probably attracted by the rich glacial soil and ample fish. It appears that in the 16th century, Robin Hood's Bay was far more important than Whitby. In a series of Dutch sea charts published in 1586, Robin Hood's Bay is indicated, while Whitby is not even mentioned. What is more certain, in the 18th century, Robin Hood's Bay was reportedly the busiest smuggling community on the Yorkshire coast. Its natural location, protected by marshy moorland on 3 sides, offered a natural aid to this well-organised business, which despite its dangers must have paid better than fishing. Smuggling at sea was backed up by the many on land, who were willing to finance and transport contraband. Fisherfolk, farmers, clergy and gentry alike were all involved. Fierce battles ensued between smugglers and excisemen, both at sea and on land, and bay wives were known to pour boiling water over excisemen from bedroom windows in the narrow alleyways. Captain James Cook, R.N., was an English explorer, navigator and cartographer. He made 3 voyages to the Pacific Ocean, accurately charting many areas and recording several islands and coastlines on European maps for the first time. His most notable accomplishments were the British discovery and claiming of the east coast of Australia, the European discovery of the Hawaiian Islands, and the first circumnavigation and mapping of Newfoundland and New Zealand. Steps leads up to the parish church of St Mary, whose churchyard on Whitby's East Cliff gave Bram Stoker the inspiration to write his world-famous book, Dracula. The first Whitby Jet workshop was opened in Whitby in 1808. There were 50. Clearly, the rapid development of this new industry demanded a greater volume and a more reliable provision of jet than would have been available by beachcombing. Fortunes have been smoking kippers for over 137 years and is Whitby's only traditional smokehouse, established in 1872 by William Fortune. Fortune's smokehouse and shop is one of Whitby's most famous attractions, and they can both be found on the pretty and historic east side of Whitby, North Yorkshire. As you walk towards the smokehouse, the distinctive aroma will whet your appetite long before you even arrive at the smokehouse. Fortune's kippers are the only genuine, authentic Whitby kippers, because the Fortune family owned and run the only traditional smokehouse in Whitby. They only use bags of the finest oak chippings. Down at the beach you will find a car park. It's not very large, so if you intend to spend the day there, you need to be there pretty early. Saltburn Pier on the lower promenade is the most northerly surviving British pier. Built in an exposed position and facing due north into the unforgiving North Sea, the pier recently underwent a major restoration programme. Saltburn by the sea is perhaps not the first place you'd expect to find an excellent surfing beach, yet the north-facing sands constantly come up with the goods, and recent years have seen the development of a large community of surfers. The North Sea may often look grey and uninviting, but you'll find great beach breaks on either side of the old pier, which work best at high tide, and are well suited to beginners and intermediates. Saltburn Cliff Lift on the lower promenade opened on the 28th of June 1884. The oldest water-balanced cliff lift in Britain goes up 120 feet on a track of 207. Now refurbished with stained glass windows, it links Saltburn Pier and the lower promenade with the upper promenade and the town. You can, if you wish, walk down from the upper promenade and take in the magnificent views. Don't forget to take the kids on a walk through the Valley Gardens and the Woodland Centre just behind the car park. Here you will find the kids' playground. The Valley Gardens at Saltburn by the Sea, where the Cleveland Way passes through the ancient Ritzwood, and the formal Valley Gardens. The Woodland Centre is a good place for information on the walks, as well as featuring displays and a permanent orienteering course. The gardens also offer a tea room and the Italian garden flower beds, and the ruins of an old corn mill. But don't panic if you have little ones. Let the train take the strain. The Saltburn Miniature Railway is a 15-inch gauge miniature railway running from the seafront through the Valley Gardens to the Italian Gardens, Tea Lawn and Woodland Centre. The railway was first established in 1947, whilst the locomotive Prince Charles was later introduced in 1953. It was reopened to the public in April 2003, following an extensive relocation project lasting 2.5 years. The Ship Inn is a smugglerish place, dating back to the 15th century, when Saltburn was a fishing village. Low beams, oak benches and posters of shipwrecks give it maritime charm. It includes a family room and a child-free lounge, plus bar and restaurant meals. When entering Staithes, all vehicles must be left in the car park at the top of the village. Visitors arriving in the North Yorkshire village of Staithes for the first time could be forgiven for thinking they had taken a wrong turn and ended up in Cornwall. With the steep access to the place, the pretty beach, the quaint fishermen's cottages and the wonderful harbour. Captain Cook, the famous 18th century explorer, came to live in Staithes when he was 16, as a shop apprentice, and it was here, listening to the tales of the local fishermen, that his fascination for the sea began. The Captain Cook and Staithes Heritage Centre on the High Street contains treasures from his entire life.
To be beside the seaside, I do like to be beside the sea. I do like to stroll along the Brum, where the brass bands play tiddly-om, pom, pom. So just let me be beside the seaside, then I'll be beside myself with glee. And there's lots of girls beside, I should like to be beside the seaside, beside the sea. Everyone delights to spend their summer's holiday down beside the side of the silvery sea. I'm no exception to the rule, in fact if I'd my way, I'd reside by the side of the silvery sea. But when you're just a common or garden smith or Jones or Brown, at business up in town, you've got to settle down. You save up all the money you can till summer comes around. Then away you go to a spot you know where the cockle shells are found. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. I do like to be beside the sea. I do like to stroll along the prom.
Staithes is a charming, picturesque fishing village which has remained unspoilt by time. Its cobbled streets, narrow alleyways, pan-tile roof houses and fishing cobbles moored in the beck attract artists from far and wide.